ibang bansa. That is very, very important. And even in our own country, no? For example, sa pag-process ng passport, ang DFA ang mukha ng gobyerno. Kaya kung nakasmile ang mga taga-DFA, the Filipino people are smiling people. Pag masungit ang mga taga-DFA, ang mga Pilipino pala ay masungit. Ngayon, Pastor, depende na lang. Kung mahilig makapagkwentuhan, sabi nung iba, chismoso. Sabi naman nung iba mas religious, hindi, mahilig lang kami mag-share. No? But, let me just remind you, regardless if it's sharing, info gathering and sharing, or if it is gossip, we are the public face of the Philippines. By conducting diplomacy in public, especially in conflict resolution, we raise emotions and minimize the space wherein we can find solutions or wherein we can maneuver. Ito po ang ibig ko sabihin na we will not engage in microphone diplomacy, or si Ambassador Chito sa China, mas malaki ang ginamit niya, megaphone diplomacy. No? By using megaphone diplomacy, nare-raise ang emotion ng tao. No? People of one country and the other. And when emotions are high, hatred comes into the heart. And early in my career, I was taught never to hate your enemies. It only leads to mistakes. And yes, for those of you who are fans of The Godfather, kasama din po dun sa isang famous line niya, do not hate your enemies, it will cloud your judgment. The Holy Book tells us to hate the sin and love the sinner. I hate the fact that China is claiming parts of the territory of the Philippines. But I love the Chinese. I hate the fact that Americans sometimes interfere in our affairs. But I love the Americans. I hate the fact that we have a very cruel history with the Japanese during World War II. But we love the Japanese. Why? Because we hate the sin, but we love the sinner. For all we know, we will wake up one day that our greatest ally was our past enemy. That is why we celebrate with Japan that we are the model of reconciliation. Because in the region, there are still countries who are still hurting legitimately from past events. But the Filipinos have found a way to love them despite of the sins. It's our task to change mindsets, especially po yung mindset ng sabong and crab mentality. So I'm putting on notice and asking some forgiveness and indulgence from the media kung sabong nung iba't ibang sinabi ni ganito, sinabi ni ganyan. That is for the political departments, that's for Congress, that's for the Senate, maybe even Malacanang, that's for the local governments. But here in the DFA, we do not accept the premise that only one person is right, or the left is better, or the right is better. Here in the DFA, our job is to build, to bridge, and to build. If you're going to ask us to build, bridge, then break down, walang kasaysayan yung aming pag-bridge at yung pag-build. Friends to all, enemies to none, not all of us have the rank of ambassador. But the reality is, ladies and gentlemen, all of you here, all of us here, even our guests, are ambassadors. The President said we are open for business, but he made sure to communicate that it is not business as usual. This is a reform-oriented administration. In fact, the reforms are so radical that some people get disturbed or unsettled. Our foreign policy will be based on the values and interests of our people. VIP, values, interests of the Filipino or of our people, ng Pilipino or of our people. Every time we have a task, whether the task was given by the President to me, to the undersecretaries, the undersecretaries to the assistant secretaries, the assistant secretaries to the director, all the way down, we ask ourselves, when do we start? Ladies and gentlemen, starting today, we only have one answer. We start yesterday. It is too late to just start today. Pag may pinagawa sa atin, parating frame of mind natin, kahapon pa kailangan yan, kahapon pa dapat ginawa yan. The President has ordered us to prioritize the welfare, protection, and convenience of the OFWs. I know you are already doing that and we have a one-team approach. But I'm asking those in charge of our migrant workers this week, while we are in Russia, to meet with the DOLE, Department of Labor and Employment, the OWA, the POEA, and even recruiters and employer associations or employers that have links abroad. If you need me to call their officials, and if we have to be the one to host, let's do it. Because we can't do it alone, and the President will not accept excuses. Hindi pwede pag nasa abroad, ang sabihin natin, sir, ginawa namin, pero etong ahensya hindi, eto hindi. Even the other day, I text the SSS administrator and thanked him for congratulating me. And I told him, all glory be to God. If you can give me a chance, I'd like to meet you. I have some ideas. No? One of them kasi sa Hong Kong, nalulubog sa utang ang ating pong OFWs doon. If we can figure out a way with SSS na sa kanilang mangutang at maghuhulog every Sunday, parang style 5-6 pero mababa ang interest, then we would have accomplished the President's mission in a small way, with a small step, but leading to more giant steps. I have also ordered and asked nicely ASEC Frank, who is in front of me today, to work with my transition team and to meet with the people responsible with our passporting system. I expect by the time I come back from Russia, a memo will be on my desk that will contain what, how, and when. What, as in what can we do to speed up the process and remove the appointment system. Our goal is that when you walk in, you will be able to apply for your passport, and in a few days, you will get your passport. And later on, like in the US, you can apply for it in the post office. How? I want to know how they're going to do it. Is it additional machines? Dadagdagan ba natin yung mobile passport program natin? Or do we need more casual employees? Doon po sa mga taga-finance, kung hindi available kaagad ang additional funds for casuals or for contractuals for this, while I'm talking to the DBM, use my salary so that we can start right away. Let us show our people that the DFA people are problem solvers. I have traveled not too much during my 19 years in Congress. Ito lang last year. But it has always been a pleasure to meet our DFA officers and employees abroad because they are the most professional, they're the most malambing, they're the most caring. They will work for you in evenings, Saturdays, Sundays, etc. And they will make sure that you are well taken care of. So ladies and gentlemen, help me accomplish the task that President has ordered us to do, and I will help the DFA to get the better benefits and welfare that the law in 1991 promised you. But until now, it is subject to the availability of funds. So as problem solvers, please remember the three acronyms that I've given you. BBB, Build, Bridge, Build. Secondly, PPP, Professionals, Protectors, Public Face. And the last is the VIP, Values, Interest of our people. God bless us. God bless the Philippines. Maraming salamat po. Personal thanks po sa mainit nyo na pagtanggap. And I really look forward to working with you and making a difference dito po sa DFA. God bless you. Maraming salamat po sa inyo lahat.
All are requested to remain at the DFA lobby grounds for the next 5 minutes. Thank you.
That was DFA Secretary Alan Peter Cayetano speaking live at his first flag-raising ceremony. This is hours before President Duterte leaves for Russia to meet with President Vladimir Putin. Also good to note, following China's President Xi Jinping's meeting with President Duterte, where the Chinese president had threats of war with the Philippines brought up. Secretary Cayetano also says that the Philippines will not resort to megaphone policy. Again, that was DFA Secretary Alan Peter Cayetano. Moving on to our top global stories, President Duterte says Chinese President Xi Jinping warned of going to war with the Philippines. That's if it insists on the arbitral ruling and on drilling oil in the South China Sea. But Senior Associate Justice Antonio